Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
Yes, so Dela writes, thank you for answering me that you love us to be doing history sometime. And today, okay, we are going to go into the history of Queen Luwo Gbagida, okay, the warrior queen of Ile-Ife and the only female Ooni in history. Now, did you know that there was a woman who became the Ooni of Ife at some point in history? Now, imagine that kind of throne. Imagine a woman seated on that throne. The wahala will not be a small thing, no. But come together, bring your joko, let's talk about it. This is complimentary. I do this just for my lovers, Dela writes, okay? Now, when people speak of the long line of Onis of Ife, the sacred throne of Oduduwa, only one woman's name is ever mentioned, and her story has lived on for centuries as both a tale of power and controversy. That woman was Queen Luwo Gbagida. She remains the first and only female Ooni of Ife in recorded history. She was a leader, a reformer, and in many ways a feared warrior queen who left a mark so strong that her name is still remembered with awe and debate. Now, this woman, okay, so this queen, okay, Luwo Gbagida, okay, lived in the 15th century, and historians generally place her reign as Ooni of Ife around the late 14th centuries. She was the 25th Ooni of Ife, the only woman to ever sit on that throne. Her son, Adekola Telu, later went on to establish the city of Iwo in the same century, carrying her lineage forward, okay? So this is the woman that we are talking about today, okay? That same queen is the person that we are talking about today, okay? Now, Queen Luwo Gbagida was born into the royal family of Ife, a descendant of Otata from Ife. But her destiny became clearer when she married Oba Olofin Ademula Ojigidiri. Oh, Jesus, Delaram, help me, oh, Delarite, help me, okay? Now, the Ooni of Ife at the time, through her marriage, she became Olori Luwo. She was beautiful, intelligent, and politically sharp. Listen, or should I go back? Queen Luwo Gbagida was born into the royal family of Ife, a descendant of Otata from Ife. But her destiny became clearer when she got married, to Oba Olofin Ademula. I cannot pronounce the other one, okay? Now, the Ooni of Ife at the time was Oba Olofin, okay? Through her marriage, she became Olori Luwo. She was beautiful, intelligent, and politically sharp. Unlike many women of her time who stayed in the background of palace affairs, Luwo stepped forward and became deeply involved in the administration of the palace. She was outspoken, never afraid to challenge even the chiefs when she felt they were wrong. And she carried herself with the authority of someone who believed she was born to rule. After her husband passed away, the traditional kingmakers of Ife faced a serious question: who would take the sacred throne? Normally, the choice was restricted to male princes of royal blood. But in this case, Luwo's influence was overwhelming. She was not just a queen, she had grown into a strong political figure who had already won the loyalty of many within the palace and the Ife kingdom. She had also given birth to a son, Adekola Telu, who later became the founder of Iwo town. But instead of her son ascending to the throne, the elders, after much deliberation, gave the crown to Luwo herself. It was unheard of, but it was a bold move that reshaped the history of Ile-Ife forever. Dela writes, I hope you guys are, enjoying this already, right? As Ooni, Luwo Gbagida did not rule like a passive queen. She ruled with the iron hand of a reformer. She was strict on discipline, both in the palace and in town. Her oral tradition says she was very, particular about cleanliness, order, and respect for authority. She would not tolerate laziness or corruption among her chiefs. In fact, she instituted many reforms that changed the outlook of the palace. She ordered that the streets of Ife be kept clean, that courtyards be swept regularly, and that the appearance of the palace and surrounding reflect dignity. She even had the habit of enforcing her rules with punishment that were considered harsh at the time. For her, ruling was not about pleasing people. It was about building a society of order. But she was not only about palace discipline. Luwo Gbagida also had the spirit of a warrior. This was a period when kingdoms and towns in Yoruba land often clashed in territorial dispute. The Ooni of Ife, being the spiritual head of the Yoruba, often had to mediate or command respect from other Yoruba kings. Luwo carried this burden with boldness. She would not allow any king or chief to undermine the authority of Ife. She took decision with a firmness that shocked even her male contemporaries. Stories say that when dispute arose, she did not hesitate to send emissaries or warriors to enforce her rulership. She was in many ways feared because she acted more like a man warrior king than a conventional queen. Her reign, however, was not without controversy. Some chiefs and elders considered her too harsh, too proud, too radical in, her method. They felt she was breaking too many traditions by ruling in such a domineering manner. They whispered that a woman had no business sitting on the sacred throne of Oduduwa. But even in the face of such criticism, Luwo stood her ground. She was never known to bow or apologize. She believed she was chosen by destiny and therefore untouchable. Her legacy, however, lives strongly through her son, Prince Adekola Tolu, as mentioned earlier, went on to found the city of Iwo. Luwo personally supervised him, instilling in him leadership and warrior values. The town of Iwo today traces its origin directly to her reign and her bloodline, and this has kept her memory alive in Yoruba history. Queen Luwo, eventually passed away after years on the throne. She remains a historical name. On one side, she is celebrated as a woman who broke boundaries, the only female Ooni who proved that women could rule with authority and vision. On the other side, some oral accounts portray her as a ruler who was too strict, too proud, and too feared. So much that she did not enjoy the kind of universal acceptance her male predecessors and, successors had. But whatever the angle, nobody can deny her place in history. To this day, Queen Luwo Gbagida is remembered as a rare figure in Yoruba history. In a culture and time when rulership was dominated by men, she rose above all odds, took the throne, and ruled Ife with iron discipline and courage. She remains the only female Ooni ever recorded, and the fact that her bloodline produced the founder of Iwo Kingdom shows that her legacy still flows through Yoruba land. She is a symbol of female power, a reminder that strength and leadership are not bound by gender. Now, her story is told again and again, not just because she was queen, but because she dared to lead differently. She dared to enforce change, and she dared to stand where no woman had stood before. Queen Luwo Gbagida, the warrior queen of Ife, remains an unshakable chapter in the history of the Yoruba people. What do you think? Or do you have another side of this, history, this story? Let's see what you think in the comment section. We'll continue to enjoy our history and learn from time to time. I appreciate you guys, Dela Rights. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for your support. If you want us to do this more, please just say yes in the comment section. I appreciate you.